Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. I'm exhausted as shit, but that's not going to keep me from playing some more Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator tonight, because I'm dying for some rally events tonight. It's something I kind of wanted to start doing, the Dream Car Championship, but after we got that Lancer Evo rally car, I was like, man, we gotta fuck around with this a little bit, just a little, you know, get our feet wet in the world of rally events again. So we're gonna do a couple of these tonight. And while we're doing it, I need to tell you guys a story. And this was a very bizarre thing. Throughout my life, really, I have only, like, you know, people have nightmares and stuff all the time. You know, sometimes where you wake up in a cold sweat or whatever. But very rarely do people, you know, do you necessarily have, like, full-blown, like, panic or anxiety attacks while you're sleeping. And I have now, in the last, you know, few months or so, I have now had 3 of them. I had one just the other night. It was just 2 nights ago, actually. And, oh man, this one scared the living shit out of me. And it was one where I actually woke up yelling. That's what woke me up. It was something else. And like the premise of this is gonna sound so stupid, and it is what it is. But just I would have never. It's like making my skin tingle thinking about it right now, actually. But the premise of this at face value is gonna sound so fucking dumb, and I have no idea, no earthly clue as to why this, you know, initiated such a weird response in my body to have this reaction that I had. But anywho, what's going on was, so I was sleeping, and I was staying over at Michaela's house, and I was sleeping. I had watched you know, the last few episodes of Stranger Things. It was fucking awesome. I couldn't really get tired though. Like, she had gone to sleep many hours before, and so I was just, you know, preoccupying myself by, you know, binging Netflix stuff and, you know, just trying to tire out my eyes. And so after that, I went to the wonderful world of YouTube and started streaming more stuff until I finally got tired enough to go to bed around 3:30 in the morning, probably. And so I go to bed, and here's where it all begins. In this dream, I don't know what about it. I don't know what it was about it, but apparently I was like walking by with Michaela in my dream, and I was looking at some sort of like upcoming movie poster, and it was supposed to be something like another It movie, which has already been confirmed that it's going to happen. But this is kind of what I was assuming it was in my head, is that, you know, it was just like, oh, it's like a movie poster for like the next It movie or whatever. And she's like, oh, that's cool. Who's in it? And this is where people are gonna hear this and gonna be like, what the why would you ever have a response like this to that? And my answer is I don't know, but this is what happened. I looked at the poster, and when I looked at it, it looked different than when I had initially looked at it the first time. And so when I look at it, it's like a grayscale photo, and it's the picture. Oh shit. Okay, we're good. Okay, all right, we gotta calm down here. So when I look at this poster, it's all black, except for like a weird kind of offset square, like off to the side, you know, so it looks like you're looking at it at an angle. And it's a like all grayscale photo of Doug Funny. Not fucking kidding. It is a grayscale photo of Doug Funny, and there's like a reflection in the picture of the picture. And for some reason, I don't know what it was, but when I looked at that picture, maybe it was the reflection itself of whatever the reflection was, I don't know. But the very second that I saw that, all of a sudden it's making my skin crawl. I remember that my response to it was I looked at it, my eyes got huge. They got massive. Like my pupils dilated, and I just started going, "Oh no!" And I felt like my chest, just all of my whole body just started to lock up, and my heart started pounding, and I just went, "Oh no!" And I was just like panicking and freaking out. And she was just like, "I don't want to see it." She's like, "I don't know what it is, but I don't want to see it." And so at that point, now I'm in full-blown panic mode. To what reason, I have no clue. And now I'm at a point where I can't talk. I can't breathe, and I can't talk, and I'm trying to... And then all of a sudden, right after that, then we're almost in like a barracks or something, because there were like all these beds everywhere. She's laying in one of them, and I'm like still freaking the fuck out, and I don't know why. Like, just that picture or whatever just like threw me into a fucking tailspin, and I'm like trying to breathe, and I'm trying to get her attention, and like I can't talk to tell her what's wrong, and I keep looking all around the room, and I'm just like, and like this, the weird part was like I knew I was in a dream, because like I was like flailing around so much in my own dream that I felt my actual physical body like starting to move. And so like I knew that I wasn't even awake, but I knew that like my body was freaking out and I was having a legit panic attack in all this. And at one point I look over at her, and I'm finally making eye contact with her, and she's actually looking at me, and I'm like shaking. I'm shaking, and I'm gasping for air, and I'm like begging for her to help me. And the only thing that she started doing, and I have no idea why she would ever do this, but the first thing that she started doing was she just started mocking my movements, and she had like almost like this kind of like Cheshire Cat look on her face. Like it was like this weird, creepy ass, like wide-eyed grin going on. And she would not help me. She's like, and I was like grabbing her and shaking her, and then her body like turned into like this weird kind of like blackened, almost like amorphous mass. It was so weird. I couldn't, you know, for the life of me, like understand and figure out what was going on with all of it. And so, but I eventually, I was, you know, I kind of hit my wall in this dream, and I was like, the only thing that I'm going to be able to do to get her attention is if I just flat out yell as loud as I can. And so that's what eventually, like, literally tore me out of my own dream back into my human existence. I went, ah! And when I woke up to hearing myself going, and oh god, it was fucking terrifying. And I remember when I finally realized that I was awake, I was like, there's no way I didn't wake up the whole fucking house with that. Like, I'm gonna end up, like, she's gonna wake up, she's gonna be like, what the fuck was that? And Haley and Preston are gonna come bursting in the room, wondering, you know, why I'm just yelling at like 4 in the morning. And then her mom's gonna come bursting in, wondering why I'm yelling, because that's never happened before. You know, at, again, 4 in the morning. And it was just gonna be like this massively embarrassing thing. And it took me a solid like 15 minutes to come out of it, you know, for my body to finally calm down and just chill for a minute. But oh my god, it was awful. And again, it was set off by the weirdest thing. It was literally just a movie poster that wasn't what it was supposed to be. I mean, I don't know why there was like a weird, creepy ass grayscale photo of Doug Funny with this weird like reflection photo in the back of the rest of the thing that just, as soon as I saw it, it immediately just made my body just go, why? I just freaked out completely. And oh, it was fucking terrifying. And I tried to like make sense of it. I was like, what could I have, like, what was I watching last night that could have set me off like that? And I was like, I watched The Shining. Couldn't have been that. I was like, see, what did I watch after that? I watched Dreamcatcher after that. Great movie, fucking weird and disgusting, but couldn't have been that. You know, I wasn't having a dream that, you know, that my loved ones were being, you know, overtaken by aliens and, you know, making strange faces while they're riding a snowmobile out in the middle of nowhere before their, you know, mentally challenged friend that they saved from two muggers on the side of a, like, mental asylum decided to morph into an alien and kill another one, you know? It didn't have anything to do with that, but, and then I watched Stranger Things, which Stranger Things is fucking awesome, by the way. I'm so pumped for the next season of that, but I don't think it was really anything to do with that either. It just, I don't know, it just completely took me by surprise and came out of nowhere. No idea what to make of it. And so, the whole thing's giving me a headache just thinking about it. So, yeah, that's what that was, and I'm sure there's got to be at least a few viewers out there that by hearing that, they're just like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And, you know, you're absolutely right. It is fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand why I'm having these weird anxiety things while I'm sleeping, because I've never had that. I mean, I've had anxiety type of stuff for like 10 years, but I've never had those things exist in my own dream space, you know? Like, normally, I can, you know, I'll have nightmares, and sometimes I'll wake up in a cold sweat, but it's a different feeling altogether, you know? Like, I can have a bad dream that wakes me up, and I'm freaking out, but in any of those dreams, it's just because something's, like, you know, there's, like, something legitimately scary going on, like, you know, somebody's trying to kill me, or, you know, like, I'm being chased by somebody that's trying to kill me, and, you know, that's its own thing, but just looking at a photograph of something, just, I don't know, and I don't feel like that should be the thing that does it. P.S. I apologize greatly if somebody ends up watching this and they're like hypersensitive to weird jarring movement, because this is not going to do it for you today. I apologize, but you know, it's going to help me in this race, I feel like, because I'm having trouble seeing in certain things. I think I'll only use it in you know, situationally appropriate things. Otherwise, yeah, like right there seemed like a good place to do it. Okay. This is a turn. This is the big one. That's the problem with this race. Is this one right here? Yeah. It's just like it's like a double hairpin turn, and it's not tight, and that's how he overtakes me every fucking time. This was definitely one of the rally races that I always had a super bad problem with. But it looks like we're gonna be able to probably fend him off for the most part. We'll just have to see. We're gonna have to definitely execute that part a little bit better, but we'll get there. P.S. One strange thing that I noticed with my cat when I just got home tonight is, you know, I walked over to pet her, and you know, we had just gone to go get her groomed. A couple things, by the way. One thing was the point I was gonna make. Second thing, we went and got her groomed, you know, yesterday, and we totally found out that she's 15 years old already. She does not have the mannerisms of a 15-year-old cat. I would have never fucking guessed that. You know, I mean, that's fucking ancient for a cat. She's definitely a lot more of a spring chicken than I thought for being that age. Like, Topaz, you know, for being 22, she was fairly active, but this cat seems a little more lively at the ripe old age of 15 than Topaz was. Kind of interesting just to think about it at base level. There we go. Much better. Much better. But the other interesting thing that we found out about this cat was that she totally only has whiskers on one side of her face. She's like totally bald of whiskers on one side, and I have never seen that before. And I have no idea. I have no idea why that would be. I don't know if, you know, maybe she got in some crazy, you know, back alley cat bar fight in which you know, the bitch that she was fighting was just like, "Ah, fuck you! I'm gonna rip your whiskers out. See who's gonna want to own you after that." And just tears them all out, and then she's like, "Well, the joke's on you, you whore, because I'll have two owners by that point." And you know, now here we are. But yeah, kind of weird. I've definitely never seen a cat that just had whiskers on one side of her face. So that's definitely a thing. Also, one more quick thing before we call this thing an episode tonight. I saw a hilarious thing on the news. And this will take the conversation we've had from weird and kind of depressing to strange to weird again. Is I saw on the news that there's an Oregonian guy that decided that he wanted to start up his own company. You never guess what his what he decided to pick up as his job was. He wanted to try to, you know, create some redeeming qualities for port-a-potties. You know, probably try to restore some dignity into these things, because, you know, taking a shit in a porta-potty is just one of the least dignifying things you can do. So this guy figures the way that he's going to return dignity to be able to use porta-potties and not feel bad about it is by turning them into a work of art. Ooh, that's not the most fucking Oregonian thing I've ever heard in my life. And so he calls them, I think he called them art-a-potties. And he just literally takes the, you know, the outside and inside of them. Whoops. He takes the outside and inside of them and just, you know, he does like paintings and stuff, which is cool. They look cool, but if you were to ask me, I'm almost positive that I'm not gonna feel one iota of difference taking a shit in a porta-potty that's just like the ones you see at the county fair, where they're just lined up in a row and you just go and open one and there's just a minuscule amount of space and you're literally shitting and pissing on top of people's stratified shit and piss. Where and instead I'll just go and sit down in one. It's like, oh, look at this nice cityscape of the fine city of Boston, or look at these, you know, twigs and branches from this tree that are just so majestic. It totally makes me feel so much better about taking this muddy ass diarrhea on top of 40 other people on the last day of the carnival. You know, like, I don't know why that would make anybody feel any different. Like, it's pleasant to look at, but what if you're there, you know, what if you're at the fair at night and you walk into one of these things? You're not going to even notice. You're not going to like, the design on this looks interesting. While I'm taking a shit, let me bring out my phone so I can turn the flashlight on and just pan it around maniacally in this thing. The whole thing is just fucking weird to me, but it's Oregon, man. What are you going to do about that? So, with that, my friends, we're going to stop right here. I think that we had a successful run today, and when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, I think what we'll do is we've got some reverse orientation races we can do. I think I might do a couple of those. That was nice and relaxing, actually, while I was talking about shit. So what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll do some of these reverse orientation rally races. When we get done with a couple of those, then we'll, you know, jump back into the Dream Car Championship and get set up for some professional league stuff. So, with that said, my friends, I'm exhausted. I'm going to edit this thing and get it tossed up, and then I'm going to bed because I got to be up bright and early tomorrow morning. Yeehaw! So, you guys take it easy. This is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching and enjoying the fine artistry that was just placed before you, because I'm the greatest that has ever lived at this game. And I will catch you guys later. Take care, everybody. You guys have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time period it is that you are experiencing this thing that's going on. So until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.